support for the Saints. And let's hope they can do the business this afternoon. One of the smaller grounds in the league. But the Saints team for this afternoon's clash is David Lyon at full-back, Les Quirk, Gary Connolly, Paul Loughlin and Alan Hunt at the three-quarters. The Kiwi half-back pairing, Tira Patty and Shane Cooper. Then John Neal, Bernard Dwyer, Kevin Ward in the front row. Sonny Nicol, George Mann, Chris Joint the back three, John Griffiths and John Harrison are the substitutes. The Featherstone team, Chris Bibb at full-back. The three-quarter line is Ikram Butt, Terry Manning, Paul Newlove and Owen Simpson. Martin Pearson and Brett Dawn to the half-back pairing with Chris Burton, Mark Wilson, who is captain, Wayne Takita in the front row, Gary Price, Ian Smales and Brendan Two to the back three with Francis Maloney and Leo Casey are the substitutes. Centre fielder, referee Stuart Cummins from Widnes, Saints captain Shane Cooper. Mark Wilson, the Featherstone captain, and a difficult task on paper, one of the hardest teams on their own mid in Featherstone, and many a team have fallen here at Featherstone in the Cup. Needless to say, the Saints many moons ago. But looking forward to a good clash, quite a healthy crowd assembled here on what Saints coach Mike McLennan would say is a post office stamp road ground due to the size of it. And they have been known here at Featherstone to bring the touchlines in a yard or two to make it narrower. Obviously the broader pitch suits the Saints' open style of play, but let's get underway now. Featherstone playing down the hill in this first half. Shane Cooper takes it out to Bernard Dwyer, spreading the ball quickly well. Chris Burton there with a characteristic head tackle on Paul Loughlin. He's been out with a bruised hand, but he's back in for this afternoon's clash. George Mann breaking through the tackle, but the tackling will be ferocious in the early minutes while both teams sort themselves out, weigh each other up. But John Neal goes in there, protects his head as he drives into the Featherstone defence. Saints take it blindside. Bernard Dwyer tries to scamper away, but he's quickly brought down. Back to David Lyon, looking for yardage. Chris Bibb, he takes it well, and the Saints will have to contain Featherstone up at that end. Put the pressure on them, not give them any room to move whatsoever. They've got quite a speedy three-quarter line of Featherstone. I mean, the Saints are no mean movers, are they? Top try scorer for the Saints, Alan Hunt. He's back. He didn't play the last time that the Saints played here in the Regal. It was Tutor driving it through, passes it on to Wayne Takita. Chris Joint over the top, Tira Patty underneath. Brett Daunt puts it high. Well, David Lyon taken. Yes, David Lyon taken without possession, and Featherstone are penalised for offside. First penalty of the game going to the Saints, but that was a tester from Brett Daunt. After only about a minute and a half play, well, that's a bad kick from David Lyon. It's going to put Featherstone back in possession and put them on the attack, whereas Saints should have had ball possession from the hopeful touch find. But he's a veteran campaigner here driving it through, Chris Burton. John Neal strikes for it, couldn't get it. Featherstone still have possession. The Saints will have to move up quickly. Obviously they are required to be 10 metres away. Featherstone are making yardage. Daunt again along the line. Pearson, he releases it to Newlove. The ball's back. It's still there onto Chris Bibb. Solid tackling by Loughlin. Now with Brendan Tutor trying to carve his way through. Well, it's a knock on. Tutor tried to get the ball away, and there he's wound up again. He's Tutor just having a little word with Alan Hunt. He tried to get the ball out there to Ikram Butt. Tried to squeeze it out. Made a good run at Tutor. The first scrum of the afternoon's play. And Shane Cooper is going to feed it. And hopefully Saints will have possession. They do. On to Tira Patty. Tutor in, well, he's rather aggressive, is Tutor, and he's not renowned for his finesse in the tackling, is he? Or he's above the shoulder tackles. Or should I say, not renowned for his below the shoulder tackles. Ferocious little customer. But now it's Chris Joint bringing it blindside, and Joint's breaking, looking for support. Hunt's with him. He gives it to Alan Hunt. But excellent tackling. Laughlin attacked in half. Saints move up 30 or 40 yards. Tutor offside. But now it's with Kevin Ward. He brings it over the 20-metre line. And the Saints moved 50 metres upfield. Last tackle of this sequence now. Bernard Dwyer moves it right. Quick hands. Rapati grubbers it through. A tester there for Owen Simpson. He does a pirouette, and Quirk and Connolly come in to meet him. Hold him up in the tackle, but the referee shouts held. But Saints with some good power play there. They force Featherstone back on the defence. Excellent break by Chris Joint, deep in his own half. Second row forward, Ian Smales. He gets the ball away, but the tacklers come in. George Mallard completed the tackle. Well, it's a knock-on, is indicated, yes. Solid tackling there by the Saints, putting pressure on the Featherstone player, and as he got up to play the ball, he knocked it forward. Scrum down again, Cooper to feed. Well, Chris Joint gets it, it's kicked out, but Plan B just went awry there. Saints play it quickly. Tia Rapati looking for a big game off Rapati today, gets it away. Dwyer tidies it up. It was meant for Cooper, but it just went a little amiss. And Sonny Nickel kicked it. Newlove comes up with it, I think it is. No, it was Pearson, I beg your pardon. Now with Chris Burton. Sonny Nickel couldn't hold it, he did kick it forward. It wasn't a knock-on, but Featherstone gathered it. And now it's with Gary Price. He bounces off him, and Ikram Butt had come in field. It's now with Terry Manning. Manning releases it. Featherstone are throwing it about. Just over 5 minutes of the game gone, no score at present. Tutor in at the action. Turns it back inside, and there's certainly a hint of a forward as Featherstone come up with it. The referee Cummins allows play to go on. It's Featherstone again, charging forward. Oh, a good break there to Pearson. Oh, and Pearson's in for the first try. A quick switch move there as Featherstone brought it over to the right. And Pearson coming through on an opposite diagonal run. It was slipped to him, and there was a hell of a gap there in the Saints defence, and Pearson went in unopposed. Martin Pearson went in. Give Featherstone a 4 points to nil lead. And I think it's Pearson that's looking to add the extra points on. Good start for Rovers after just over 6 minutes play, but the Saints defence caught cold there. The ball was being brought to the right, and then it was switched back. That's converted by Pearson, and Featherstone is 6 points to nil in the lead. The Saints there, they'll have to buckle down again, and once again the Saints give points away in the early minutes. So the Saints give the opposition a start once again. Last week, the Saints in front of the Sky cameras against Halifax. A tough game, but they came through it by 18 points to 16. Whereas Featherstone, they had a good win down at London by 32 points to 6 on what's been described as a really, it shouldn't have been played, an unplayable pitch. It's Featherstone in possession, it's Tutor, he releases it. The Featherstone side, they're backing up well. The Saints will have to meet him. It's Chris Burton again. He's in at the front row. Leo Casey on the subs bench. Casey got a little injury, obviously not 100% fit. Last tackle of the sequence for the Rovers. Daunt kicks it crossfield. Les Quirk, he'll tidy it up, virtually on his own line. Tutor comes in rather high, and he's penalised there. The clock stopped as Quirk is he going to receive treatment? But Tutor is certainly a volatile campaigner there, in at the tackle, taking Les Quirk a little high. The referee Cummins moved in. As we say, the first round of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup here, and a difficult tie at Post Office Road. Saints, as we know, the leaders of the First Division against Featherstone, who are the leaders of the Second Division. They'll be all fired up. Good ball from Manta Rapati, but it's ruled forward by referee Cummins. Got to be up quickly to try and break this tight Featherstone defence, but the pass was ruled forward. And it's a scrum down Featherstone feed just outside the Saints 20-metre line. Kevin Ward looking to pack, he can't get his head in, he can now. The ball's fed, Daunt moves it to the left. Second row forward, Ian Smales coming through. But it's a blindside ploy, it's Tutor again, well it's on to Newlove. Superb tackle by Alan Huntwell. He got up again and went to run, and they should have been penalised for that. The man was tackled. Nice with Tutor, on to Newlove. The Featherstone faithful get behind their team. The Saints again forced to defend. Daunt. Loughlin tidies it up. He went down bravely on that ball. Saints will have to move it quickly to the right. Connolly now beats the defence, puts the feather down, and Connolly's moving up to the halfway line. Les Quirk attacked in half-back. Featherstone get back quickly onside. But John Neal tries to release it. He did the spade work. He backed into the tackle, but Saints get it back. It's all on. Oh, and Rapati knocks it forward. With Saints with a three-man overlap on Rapati's left. But unlucky, he just couldn't take it cleanly. Quick hands was the order of the day, but it didn't come off, did it? Yeah, Saints had lost the ball. John Neal on the far side, as I said, he'd done the spade work, he backed into the tacklers, tried to release it. The ball was snapped up by Featherstone, and then he played at the ball, did John Neal, and got it back, but then unfortunately Rapati knocked it on. Featherstone have scrum possession. Blindside ploy, brings in Ikram Butt. Loose play again by Featherstone. But it's now with Takita. Saints are under the cosh at present, with Featherstone certainly running the roost. It's Brett Daunt looking for the runners. Chris Burton's there, just as his ankle's tapped. Saints line up on their own line. It's Daunt again. Tutor, yes. It's into the corner. Owen Simpson touches down for Featherstone's second try. Simpson, touchdown in the corner, a long ball, I think it was from Tutor that put the long ball out, and I don't know whether Les Quirk actually got fingers to it. He could have possibly touched Les Quirk, and then it went to Simpson, and that extends the Featherstone lead to 10 points to 0. And only 12 minutes gone on the clock. So Saints really up against it this afternoon. 10-0 down, this conversion to come. 7 seasons since the Saints were knocked out in the first round of the Challenge Cup. And it's Pearson looking for the extras. Difficult kick from the touchline, but 10-0 in the lead. And the Saints, obviously, there's captain Shane Cooper will be reading the riot attacks behind the goal line there. Pearson brings it in, but it's waved away. 10-0 the score, and Saints have got to get points on the board. It's the 6th meeting between these two in the Challenge Cup. In the previous 5, Saints have only won 2, obviously losing 3. And we remember, as we said, getting knocked out in the Well, is that a knock-on? Was they're getting knocked out in the Challenge Cup 2 seasons, or virtually 2 seasons on the trot. Yes, 57-58, 58-59. 5-0 and 20 points to 6 in the snow here at Featherstone. Tutor looking very lively. The Saints will have to buckle down now. 10-0 they trail. Loose ball, it's going to be a knock-on surely. If Burton didn't knock on, the second player did. It went forward, clearly forward there, as Bernard Dwyer comes in for the tackle. But it's second row, Ian Smales boots it downfield. David Lyon will let it run dead. Yes, he does. Saints will restart from the centre of the 20-metre line, playing up the hill in this first half and trailing by 10 points to 0. 14 minutes gone. Well, that's a turn up for the boot, but Featherstone have certainly looked lively. Bernard Dwyer brings it blindside. Chris Joint. Solid tackling there as Tutor comes in on his counterpart. But he does a lot of mauling, does Tutor. And he's in again. Well, Takita, surely that was a high tackle on John Neal. Now it's Kevin Ward. The diagonal run gets it away to Cooper. On to Connolly. Gives the dummy there, but Featherstone don't take it. Cooper again, blindside, on to Connolly. Last tackle of this set. The ball coming back. Tirapati. Crossfield kick. Ikram Butt should take it comfortably. Makes sure, stops it with his foot. Paul Loughlin goes in for the tackle. Well, Butt pushes him off. Alan Hunt there, injured in that tackle. He did well there, did Ikram Butt. He bounced out of Loughlin's tackle, then Alan Hunt came in again, and Alan Hunt's in a lot of discomfort there on the touchline as Tutor drives it up. Saints down to 12 men, and Tutor looking for an Oscar there. On to second row forward, Gary Price. Wilson attacked in half. Tutor, short ball that's certainly looked to hint forward onto Terry Manning. The ball's lost and Saints have possession. Alan Hunt very shaken, just getting to his feet now. Jeanette Smith treating him as George Mann bursts through. Breaks out of Newlove's tackle, but it's a penalty to the Saints. Must be for a high tackle. Wilson going in, whether he's accused of being the flopper, as Alan Hunt fully treated now, back on his feet and back in the Saints side. They've weathered the storm. Let's see if David Lyon can make a better job of it this time. He does. John Neal, first man in. Saints will have to back the man up with the ball. It's one man driving forward, and we can't afford to do it against Featherstone. Ward breaks out of the tackle, gives it to Dwyer. Pops a high one off Takita there. And Saints have got to get on the scoreboard. It's Chris Joint. He drives it up. Burton completes the tackle. Connolly at the acting halfback. The ball crossfield. Good ball to Rapati. He couldn't release it. He can now to George Mann. Cooper out to Nickel. Looking for a big game off Nickel. He's been in a good form. And we can do with some good runs from this big lad today. Cooper now draws the man, gives it to Rapati. Brought down on the 20-metre line, the last tackle of this sequence. Saints move it blindside again. Cooper kicks it right at the Featherstone man. He manages to hold on to it. It was Daunt, I think, that came up with it. It was meant for the corner for Les Quirk and Gary Connolly to chase. But the ball was taken. The Featherstone man, he's obviously winded. We're taking that ball from Cooper's kick through, but Ikram Butt again. Well, this little fella, he passes it on to Manning, but he did well. Manning releases it. Featherstone throwing the ball about and leading the Saints a merry dance. 10-0, Featherstone in the lead. 18 minutes of the half gone. Quick play the ball. Wilson at dummy half, on to Tutor. Bernard Dwyer wraps him up round the top. Jonathan Neal had completed the tackle round the legs. Daunt chips it through. Not going to find touch. It's not going to roll dead either. Alan Hunt will have to play it. Takes the tackle of Burton and Daunt. Did well there, Hunt, obviously fully recovered after that knock. Bernard Dwyer onto David Lyon. Little bit of Saints brilliance. They'll have to come into play, hopefully. 10 points to nil the score. And Saints are playing up the hill, and they certainly got an uphill battle this afternoon. 2 tries in the first 11 minutes by Featherstone. George Mann gives the dummy. Breaks through. Mann drives up again. Support a little lacking. Now it's Cooper. He's leading his charges. Long pass to Connolly. Work will come infield. Connolly puts the gas pedal down. Owen Simpson completes the tackle. Last one of this set. Cooper takes it blindside again. Dwyer chips it through. It's all on as Bibb comes up with it. He did well there, did Chris Bibb. Brought down just short of his own 20-metre line. Owen Simpson, he drives it midfield. Ikram Butt, he's in there again. He's there, just taking the ball and looking for a break in this Saints defence. Well, that was an improper play of the ball there. Should have been penalised. That wasn't played correctly. Ian Smales brought it through. Now with Chris Burton. And look at the yardage this Burton is allowed to make. It's the last tackle of this set. Still with Daunt. He tries to chip it, but Cooper's well positioned. Daunt comes up. He brings Cooper down. Pearson there also as well. Completes the tackle. Saints in their own 20-metre line area as Rapati comes through and Burton takes him rather high. The first tackle. Saints line out again. It's Chris Joint. Joint breaks through. Excellent break. Inside to Dwyer. Onto Loughlin. Shrugs the tackle off. Drives it up. Looking for support. Superb play by the Saints there as they drive up into the Rovers 20-metre area. Kevin Ward follows the charge up. Saints have got to come away with points here. But Chris Joint is having a blinder up to now. Sonny Nicol, short ball to George Mann. Loughlin. Oh, Loughlin, it's intercepted by Butt. Can Sonny Nicol close him down? He can. Wrestles him to the ground. If that ball could have gone to Alan Hunt, it would have been points to the Saints as Tutor comes through. But it went to Ikram Butt. And considering the runs he's put in, he looked rather pedestrian there. As Bibb now brings the ball down. Featherstone in support and in control and in possession. Pearson has it back to second rower Gary Price. Featherstone looking to release the ball at every available opportunity. Saints still looking to get the first points on the board, trailing by 10 points to nil. And nearly 22 minutes to the half gone. David Lyon will let the ball go, touching goal. An astute chip kick there, putting pressure on the Saints. But it went to touching goal. And Saints will restart with a tap from the centre of the 20-metre line. Well, Leo Casey coming on. Maybe a tactical ploy here for Featherstone. As I said, Casey has been injured. Not fully fit, but whether the Featherstone coach, Steve Martin, just giving Burton a break and putting Leo Casey on. Well, the ball knocked forward. Saints just not getting their act together. Featherstone putting a lot of pressure on the Saints. They're leading by 10 points to nil. And it's a Featherstone head and ball at this scrum. Daunt to feed it. Smales and Daunt, well, they're working the run around. Saints have possession and they break quickly. Lyon brings it away. Les Quirk was on the outside. Lyon wants to play it quickly. Featherstone losing possession and Saints capitalising on it then. Tried to move it quickly to the right. Lyon was moving through. He took the tackle with Quirk on his outside. Now it's Cooper. He turns it back inside to Tirapati. Backed in half back. is Bernard Dwyer. Well, Shane Cooper did well, but Dwyer inside to George Mann. He's looked very sharp as George Mann. Well, Nickel there. That's what they call in the trade assisted Duffy pass. As Tutor came on to Sonny Nickel. The idea was right to release it, but it was the wrong time, unfortunately. Last one of this set. Cooper lofts it high, puts Bibb under pressure. Well, it's an awkward bouncing ball. Bibb gathers it. Very lucky there. It bounced off the post, and Rapati takes him down. Ikram Butt coming again through, and Sonny Nickel tackles him again, bounces him to the ground. George Mann just missing Tutor in the tackle. He ducked under it. He looked quite sharp as George Mann. Well, it looked a forward pass there onto Ian Smales, but he releases it to Mark Wilson, the hooker. Featherstone making good yardage. 30 metres they've made. Over the halfway line now. That's in the set of 6. It's to Daunt. Puts it downfield diagonally. David Lyon lets it go, and it's in the field of play. He didn't touch it. It's going to be brought back to the 10-metre line for the scrum to be formed. It's going to be a Saints feed. The scrum's all level, I make it. Three apiece. With this one to come, Cooper to feed. Saints have possession. They'll have to move it quickly. Well, Tutor in again. A little high on Connolly. Now with Tirapati. Looking to release it. He gets it away to Dwyer, who turns it back to Cooper. On to Chris Joint, and he's run well today, hasn't he? Cooper can't take it. Well, the Saints forfeit possession as well. Cooper tried to keep it going, but the ball going to ground. A scrum down just inside the Saints half. Featherstone feed. John Harrison limbering up on the touchline. Whether Saints are going to make a substitution or not, we don't know, but it's Pearson moving it cross field. Taken down by Rapati. Rapati and Loughlin in at the tackle. There's Featherstone move it blindside. Certainly a hard task out here for the Saints now, trailing by 10-0. Wayne Takita bounces off John Neal, gains a further 10 metres. 15 minutes of the half remaining, and Saints are trailing. Inside ball, Gary Price. It's John Neal that's going to be brought off, and John Harrison is going to be introduced into this game. Tutor now, and Saints are laying off Tutor. It's on to Pearson. Last tackle of this set. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't go for a drop goal. But mind you, knowing Featherstone, they'll press forward. Well, Daunt kicks it through. Cooper takes it, and now it's with Sonny Nickel. Bounces off Newlove, and Nickel powering through. And he's still driving forward, is Sonny Nickel. 20-metre burst from this big Yorkshire man. John Neal now. And the ball, well, it's offside, surely, or reaped out. Yes, it was reaped out, but it touched the man, the Featherstone man, and then it was picked up. It must have been in an offside position, but reaping out is the indication. Saints have the penalty. Dwyer takes it blindside. It's George Mann. He's run well as George Mann in this opening 25 minutes. Cooper again, a long ball to Chris Joint, and another one that's created big holes in this Featherstone defence, but the final nail just hasn't been there. Kevin Ward, he drives it up. Oh, Dwyer's there. Is it allowed to go on? No, forward pass. Dwyer always there and about, looking to latch onto that Kevin Ward pass. But big John Harrison coming on now for John Neal. 27 minutes of the half gone. So both sides using a forward substitute. He's drove well as John Neal. Whether he has taken a knock, we don't know. Featherstone come up with scrum possession. 5-4 they take the scrums. That's 9 scrums obviously so far in this first half as Tutor comes crossfield. 3 Kiwis together there. Tutor, Rapati and George Mann. Blindside ploy again. Leo Casey taken down by the legs by Bernard Dwyer, and Paul Loughlin wraps him up at the top. John Harrison right in at the action. 10-0 the Saints trail. 12 minutes before the interval. Featherstone in possession and playing for each other. And well, good shoulder charge there by the Saints as they push Leo Casey back. It's the last tackle of this set. It's now with Daunt. Puts a tester up. And the last time Lyon was taken on suspicion, but he takes it well this time, and he drives it forward well. To Keater in with a little high one as Lyon came through. Yes, and Saints win the penalty. Lyon takes it quickly, mauling at the play of the ball, and Saints looking to keep the action going. Points essential before the half-time interval. John Harrison drives it up, just short of the Featherstone 20-metre line. Trailing by 10 points to 0, looking for points on the board. Kevin Ward, back to Cooper, back to George Mann. Rapati takes it, gets out of the tackle. He's taken high, but he brushes it off. It's now with Chris Joynt, back to Connolly. He comes crossfield. Connolly weaving his way through. Taken down by Tutor, and Tutor doing some mauling. Saints bring it blindside again. George Mann has it. Back to Shane Cooper, a big hole there. Can Cooper wriggle through? He can. The ball's now with Rapati, on to Nicol. Can he shrug the tackle off? He's still driving forward, is Nicol. He's held down inches short and he's still wriggling. Well, the ball's taken out of his hands. Oh, the referee's allowed it to go on. He had the ball there and it was taken out of his hands. It looked as though it was from our position. But Saints lose possession and Cooper's in again. Oh, a superb tackling spell by Shane Cooper. Kevin Ward there, he's fired up. Right in on Tutor, and the man's injured. But superb, 3 tackles by the Saints as they power in. Nicol there, in my opinion, there was harshly done to. The ball knocked out of his hand as Tutor doesn't like it. Well, that's 4 tackles. Well, Kevin Ward penalised this time. Going in as the flopper is the referee's indication. Ward's going to be spoken to, but he's all fired up there. But it's a tough game, isn't it, this? And Tutor there, he's been giving it out and that, and Saints going in. The tackles have got to count. But unfortunately, referee Cummins taking exception to it. And Kevin Ward penalised. I don't know whether that was the Featherstone's first penalty. I haven't got them down for any at all. 5 penalties to 1. Saints in the lead on that count. But Pearson making sure, positions the ball. Only kicking for touch. He finds touch midway between the halfway line and his own 20-metre line. Featherstone in possession and in the lead by 10 points to 0. Solid tackling, gang tackling by the Saints, and they force the man back. It's quickly played. The Saints move in. Kevin Ward again, leading by example. There's Tutor. Quickly recovered from that knock. Dwyer and Harrison, well, cabbages a yard there. There's Tutor. Now with Takita. Harrison and Dwyer in again. These 2 tackling machines move it in, but Featherstone gain yardage. Short ball there to Smales. Breaks out of the tackle. Last one of this set. It'll go up in the air, you can bet. It's there with Daunt. He tries to get it crossfield. It hits Rapati, and Harrison tidies it up. Excellent tackle by Tia Rapati. Closed Daunt down. He knew that where the danger was coming, and he moved in quickly. Now with George Mann. 4-man Featherstone tackling. They move in quickly. Blindside ploy again as Chris Joynt runs it wide to Keater, and Wilson, the captain, moving quickly. Saints moving it crossfield. Short ball to Nicol. Price takes him down. Good drive from Nicol, but he's well looked after on that occasion. Cooper, George Mann running out wide. Last tackle of this set for the Saints. Cooper grubbers it upfield, a tester for Bibb. An awkward ball, and Cooper leads the charge to tackle him. Bibb breaks through, puts everybody onside though over Shane Cooper as Dwyer completes the tackle. Tickram butt again from acting half. Connolly and Harrison take him down, but Featherstone not backing up this time. Leo Casey coming in. Seven minutes to the interval. Featherstone in the lead, 10 points to 0, 2 to lead in the charge. Now Takita. Kevin Ward comes in for the tackle. Takita bounces off and Ward comes in for a second bite to the cherry. 2 to take another knock, but it's Daunt that grubbers it for touch. Alan Hunt takes it well. Drives it forward as Hunt, just changing hands with the ball there to hopefully release it. No support for him as Takita completes the tackle. Tirapati, on to George Mann, inside to David Lyon. Releases it there to Chris Joint. Did well there, Chris Joint, to take it with Paul Newlove. Beg your pardon, Terry Manning breathing down his neck. Tirapati into a space. Well, the ball, is it knocked forward by Featherstone? It was fed back. And it was knocked forward by Featherstone. To scrum down with the Saints feed. So a little bit of pressure there by Featherstone. It didn't pay off and Saints have ball possession. Rapati again. Did well, breaks out of 2 tackles, releases the ball to George Mann. David Lyon from the full-back. Featherstone have a man injured, it's Pearson, he's taking a knock. Now with Bernard Dwyer for the Saints, he drives it up. Saints need points on the board, 5 minutes before the interval. 10-0, Featherstone in the lead. It's Big John Harrison. Tries to turn it in field when it come off a Featherstone man, that surely. Mustn't have done, no forward pass. Well, I'm saying he mustn't have done. The referee says it hasn't, so he's the man in charge. Scrum down, Featherstone feed, Featherstone down to 12 men. Simpson being treated. Blindside ploy onto Ikram Butt. Cooper and Hunt take him down, but he gets the ball away. Oh, unlucky there. Alan Hunt couldn't take it. The referee, has he given a knock on? Well, I don't think that was a knock on. In my opinion, the ball went backwards. Even though Featherstone was in possession, Daunt couldn't take it. But I'm sure that ball went backwards. But to scrum down with the Saints speed. And Pearson, he'll have to be cheered off. The game stops. The man's injured. And Featherstone's other substitute comes on. Francis Maloney. For Pearson. Saints have scrum possession. 6 scrums apiece. Rapati gives the dummy. Blindside ploy. Chris Joint runs it wide. Solid Featherstone defence. Rovers are tackling well. Cooper, Rapati, out to George Mann. Bounces off the tacklers, turns it inside to Sonny Nickel. Saints just getting a little tangled up. As Bernard Dwyer attacked in half. He takes it blind, he gives the dummy, saw the gap emerge, he drove it forward. Saints in the Featherstone 20-metre area, not been in there very often. But it's Kevin Ward leading the charge, back to Cooper. Saints will have to spread it. Quick hands, Harrison drives for the line. Good tackling though. The last tackle, Saints are going to run it. Cooper, is he going to bring it blind? No, he turns it back inside. Harrison, oh, on to Les Quirk. Saints keep it going. Connolly should score here. Yes, Connolly, is he squeezing? Yes, the try's given. Superb play by Connolly. But excellent play by the Saints as they keep the ball going on the last tackle. Cooper moved it over to the right. It went to Les Quirk. The gap looked there. He drove for it. He was tackled. He turned the ball up and then it went out to Gary Connolly. And his international skill and class told when he squares in at the corner. They're just about 5 metres from the corner flag. Puts the Saints on the board at 10 points to 4. And this goal kick from Paul Loughlin is very important. just about 2 or 3 minutes before the interval. A timely score by Connolly. It puts the Saints on the board at 10 points to 4. And as I just said, this goal kick is important. Gary Connolly's 11th try of the season. And John Griffith, Saints back substitute, goes out there as Sandman. And Gary Connolly scoring, as I said, his 11th try. And Paul Loughlin from, as you can see, about 25 metres out, and well, only a metre in from touch. I thought it was about 5 metres in, but Loughlin strikes it well. He's across the face of the posts. So 10 points to 4. Not much time left in this first half, but Saints will get the ball from the kick-off, and hopefully, let's see if we can go the full length. As Pearson has been cheered off. He's taken to the dressing room. He had to be cheered off. Obviously a bad injury. He won't take any further part in this game. With Les Quirk, a rare touch for Quirk. He just had a touch at the far end. But he got the ball away. It led to the Saints try. Big John Harrison driving forward. The Saints will look to move it quickly. Time running out in this first half. Cooper, George Mann, breaks the cover defence, loses the ball. Tutor goes in there. Just got a hand to the ball, did Tutor, trying to grab for George Mann. It was enough to shake the ball from his hands. With the last scrum of this first half, with Dort to feed. The back substitute there, Maloney, brought down 10 metres short. The Saints forced to defend. Time running out before the interval. It's Tutor, brings it cross field. Well, a back pass back, well, obstruction there. That's a penalty to the Saints. That Bernard Dwyer, I think it was, he was pushed off in his efforts to try and get that ball that was loose, but Tutor there did the back pass, and it went down. And Dwyer knows the importance of a quick play of the ball. We've played 40 minutes on my watch, just in time added on for stoppage. John Harrison, well, he takes a high one. It's not bad off Takita, that is it. He's only 6'7", Harrison, and Takita comes in with one, wraps him right round the neck. Referee Cummins allows play to go on. Now with George Mann again. George Mann takes the Featherstone defence on. Well, there's the half-time hooter, and it couldn't come as a better time as far as Featherstone are concerned. They're in the lead by 10 points to 4. They hit the Saints early on. A 6-minute Pearson try. He converted his own try. 6-0 in the lead. Then 5 minutes later, Simpson going in at the bottom left-hand corner. I think the ball may have touched Les Quirk, and then Simpson went in. 10 points to 0. And Featherstone in the lead, and then Saints just hit him back 3 minutes before the half-time interval, with Connolly squeezing in there at the top right-hand corner. So half-time score here at Post Office Road, Featherstone, in the Challenge Cup first round is Featherstone 10, St Helens 4. As the teams drift back onto the pitch for the second half, Saints looking down the barrel of a 10 points to 4 deficit. And the last time Featherstone put Saints out of the Challenge Cup 10 years ago, that was a third round tie at Nosey Road, where Saints went down by the odd point in 21. 11-10 they got beat, and it was a centre called Gilbert that got a couple of tries that put paid to the Saints that day. Saints trailing by 10 points to 4, as I've said. And no doubt Mike McLennan will have read the riot act during the half-time interval. And Steve Martin, the Featherstone coach, he'll have had give his team the pep talk as well, obviously. Well, Steve Martin there for Featherstone. He's obviously troubled with the injury to Martin Pearson. He's a key player. The Saints are playing down the hill in this second half. not a lot of breeze today. Quite a pleasant day. But the Saints will have to put the effort in, press Featherstone, keep them down there at their end. As referee Cummings gets us underway. Saints with a deep kick, taken right on the centre spot, but Cooper penalised for an alleged high tackle. Hardly caught the man, and it was on his shoulder in my opinion as he came through. But 15 seconds on the watch and Saints penalised in the second half. The man was coming through and Cooper went for him. It touched his shoulder and he went down, just took him off balance. But to referee Cummings, he had his whistle in his mouth for a long time. He didn't know whether to blow up or not. He finally did, and Featherstone had the penalty. Leo Casey. Ward and Dwyer bring him down, and Kevin Ward certainly fired up. Featherstone in possession. Dwyer and Harrison, but it's Wilson, the acting half-back for Featherstone. He breaks quickly and marks up again. The ground not in bad condition. There was a curtain raiser before the game. The youngsters. It doesn't look too bad. We've seen it worse, haven't we? We've played on it worse here. Leo Casey, good run from this fella. Powering it up into the Saints 20-metre area. And Featherstone spreading it. It's now with Takita. The last tackle of this sequence. The ball to Daunt. He's gone for a drop goal. It's charged down. Well, there's a flopper, isn't it? By Tutor. Saints were penalised for that before as Shane Cooper charged the kick down and Tutor come in as the flopper. Ward was penalised for that before, but Saints is allowed to spread it. Harrison onto Dwyer. Saints are going to keep running hard with this ball. Well, Rapati wants a quick play of the ball. He's gesticulating to the referee. George Mann juggles with it. But a three-man Featherstone defence hold him down. Blindside ploy. It's Ward again. Smales brings him down. Cooper chips it crossfield. Quirk's chasing it. Bibb has to take it back. Cooper comes in again. Stops the man. Connolly and Quirk try to keep him on his feet. Force him over the line. A bit of a loose maul type scrum there. But the Saints, they've got to do this. The Saints are faithful, they get behind them. A lot of them have changed ends at half-time and moved down to the bottom end there. And the Saints have got to contain Featherstone in their own 20-metre area, put the pressure on them, and then hopefully get back in action. Now it's Leo Casey. Kevin Ward goes in with the shoulder charge. Wilson attacked in half, the last tackle of this sequence for Featherstone. But they've made good yardage. Now with Daunt, it's back to Smales. A tester for Lyon. He's well under it. He beats Tutor, comes in field, still going. But Tutor and Wilson, they combine to hold David Lyon. Well, Tutor, he should be penalised for that. He's always mauling and lying on. It's Chris Joint. The Saints loose forward. Jared McCracken gone back yesterday on Friday, I believe. There was rumour that he was going to play today, but a little bit of oohing and ahhing. McCracken's gone home, and the Saints have employed Ricky Cowan. Big Kiwi forward, he's coming shortly. Good into passing there, Rapati! Rapati's breaking through! Can he keep his feet? Oh, just unlucky, it was the last tackle there, but excellent break from Rapati. Dwyer, Cooper, long ball, yes, Loughlin's there. Oh, it's just taken away from him. The ball gone dead, but Saints move up. Cooper and Rapati combining to nearly go in for a try, just couldn't keep his feet under a patty, and that'd have been one under the sticks, and that would have been gold, and it'd have put Saints back on level terms. But the ball, it's Paul Loughlin, he just couldn't gather it, must have kicked it dead, must have come off Loughlin's boot, and Featherstone restart with a tap from the centre of the 20-metre line. Wilson onto Ikram Butt, looking for that half gap. Nickel and Ward haul him to the ground. Now with Takita, he feeds it inside to Wilson. A big gap there and good yardage by Featherstone. Tutor flicks it up. Excellent ball from Tutor to Daunt. He gets it, he unloads the ball. Ikram Butt's inside again, but now it's Smales. Big hole, Smales, he flicks it out. Ikram Butt's there. It's over to Newlove. Can he squeeze in? Yes. Newlove's in under the sticks. Well, Saints pay the price. Featherstone come virtually the length of the field. And some good inter-passing. And Paul Newlove takes the last pass and goes up under the sticks. Extends the Featherstone lead to 14 points to 4. So certainly things are looking a little grim. As far as the Saints are concerned, 16 points to 4 is going to be the score when Smales pops this one over. Right in front of the sticks, but Saints paying the penalty. Some good inter-passing, but it's Featherstone that come up with the points. Come virtually the length of the field. Smales strikes it well. 16-4 the score. And as we said, Saints up against it. 7 minutes of the second half have gone. Rovers, the top of the second division, they played 17 games, they've only lost 2, they've 30 points. And Saints have played 16, they've lost 3, they've 26. But that doesn't matter in Cup Rugby. Home advantage always speaks a lot, and especially in a one-off competition. And even though Saints, as we said, the top of the division, they can still be knocked down by the lesser clubs. Featherstone have had, they put some good rugby together today. They're in the lead by 16 points to 4. And they're well worthy of the lead, aren't they? Wilson attacked in half-back. On to Leo Casey. Saints with very limited chances. But just at the bottom end, they're just well Dork with a long-range drop goal attempt. As I was just saying, David Lyon takes its Indian goal earlier on the full, so a 20-yard tap restart. I was just saying, Tirapati nearly going in at the opposite end for the Saints, and then Featherstone playing the ball quickly, moving upfield, and the full length of the field job, and Newlove goes in under the sticks. Dwyer, blindside, onto Sonny Nickel. The Featherstone defence moves up quickly. Smales trying to encourage the touch judge for a knock-on. George Mann, good ball to Rapati. Breaks out to the tackle, inside to Loughlin. Oh, but good clamp tackling again. Tutor, he's round there doing his mauling. Quickly in. Now it's Rapati. Through there. Cooper, Connolly, it's all on. Cooper again, he's leading by example. It's on to Ward. Touch to Featherstone man, Ward has it back. Well, he's penalised Featherstone. He penalised Sid. He's penalised Featherstone for offside, and yet Ward had the ball back, and it should have been another 6 tackles. But Saints can still have another set of 6 and tap it quickly. They do. John Harrison leading the charge. Referee should have let play go on, but it didn't really matter. Dwyer onto Ward. Can Ward squeeze in? He's having a superb game, is Kevin Ward. He's really fired up. Saints have got to score here. Cooper Half gap there, Rapati. Big gap there, Lyon. Lyon's in, yes. David Lyon touches down. Puts the Saints back in with a sniff. £16-8. David Lyon in for his 6th try of the season. But Kevin Ward leading the charge in this bottom right-hand corner as you're viewing. He went through there, he tried to flick it out, it touched the Featherstone Rovers man, it came back to Kevin Ward. Featherstone were penalised for offside, I don't know why. I thought the referee should have just allowed play to go on. He did give us a penalty, and then from the ensuing penalty, Shane Cooper took it quickly, slipped it inside to John Harrison. Then the ball was moved over to the left, and David Lyon coming in from the full-back position as the extra man. Saw the gap, scooted through, touched it down, and 16-8 the score. Paul Loughlin hopefully put this between the sticks, and that's just a converted try between the sides. Yes, the Saints faithful behind the sticks there tell you that that's a good one. 6 points between the teams. And Saints definitely back in. Only 10 minutes of the second half gone. The ball kicked directly to David Lyon. Breaks through the Featherstone defence, just taken down by Casey. And Saints with the tails up now. Bernard Dwyer beats the first line of defence, drives it through to Keita. Goes for the crutch hold. Now it's Cooper. Brings it on to Tia Rapati. He's coming into his own in this second period. Here's Rapati. Kevin Ward breaks out of the challenge. It's on to Sonny Nicol. Nicol can't break free. Ward stood in the tackle, released it to Nicol. Now it's Cooper. Gives the dummy to Cooper back to Dwyer. Change of direction to John Harrison. The Featherstone tackling not as crisp as it was in the first half, I'm very pleased to say. Rapati kicks it crossfield. Chris Bibb takes it well. Featherstone in possession, Ikram Butt going infield. This little fella will have to be brought down. Rapati, George Mann, I beg your pardon, drags him along the ground. Ward gets in on Smales. Sonny Nichol's there again, and the Saints have got the bit between the teeth. They want a date at Wembley on the 1st of May. Featherstone come between them this afternoon. They're in the lead by 16-10. Paul Newlove and Gary Connolly, teammates on the tour, quickly in, but it's Quirk and Connolly as well. Wilson back to scrum half Daunt, back to Smales, lying back as the sweeper. But Lyon takes it again. On to Alan Hunt. Hunt there, looking to sidestep through. Taken down on the halfway line. Excellent tackle there. Tutor doing a lot of mauling, as per usual. Now with Chris Joint running out wide, back to Dwyer. Saints keep it moving. Cooper. Good ball to Nicol. Shrugs the tacklers off. Oh, the ball's knocked down. It's a penalty to the Saints. Reaping it out of Sonny Nichol's hands is the indication. Cooper wants it quickly. "14 minutes gone of the second half, and the score 16-10, and Paul Loughlin's going to have a go at this penalty conversion for Sonny Nicol, having the ball reaped out of his hands right in front of the referee. It's about 40 metres from the Featherstone post. John Griffiths just going on there as the Sandman, and maybe John Griffiths will be introduced in this second half. He's got some pace on him as Griffiths, his elusive character. But if the side are putting it together, you've got to keep it going, haven't you? trailing by 6 points, 16 points to 10, and this Loughlin penalty conversion to come. 40 yards out, more or less centre field. Looks good from here. Yes. The touch judges raise the flags. Paul Loughlin with a penalty goal, 16-12. And Saints back in on a roll now. Featherstone opening the scoring in the second half with a Newlove try and a Smales goal. But Saints hitting back just 5 minutes later with a Lyon try and a Loughlin goal, and now a Loughlin penalty goal, and just 4 points separating the sides. Connolly breaking out of the tackles. Smales in with Takita, but now it's John Harrison. Sees the gap, drives it forward. Featherstone, they must have put a mammoth effort in the first half, and have they taken the stuffing out of themselves? The tackling isn't as crisp as it has been in the first half, but they're still competing. Let's hope the Saints' superior strength can come through at the end of the day, especially after having a 10 points to 0 lead of Featherstone. The ball kicked down, Chris Bibb. He takes it just short of his line. Quirk and Connolly combined, they bring him down. Simpson attacked in half-back. Simpson ducks into the tackle. Connolly and Quirk again, and a big effort from the Saints now is needed at that end of the field. Good tackling there. John Harrison, Bernard Dwyer. Now it's Casey. He throws the ball away. It's tidied up by Terry Manning. He's allowed to run. Gets the ball away. Featherstone with an overlap. On to Owen Simpson. Connolly comes in. Oh, superb tackle by Connolly. And what a class player this Connolly is. Homed in on Simpson coming through, just like an exocet. Took him, give him all the room he wanted, and then powered him into touch. Superb tackle. And he's no slouch, this Simpson, is he? Cooper feeds it. Saints with scrum possession. Good break, Rapati. Centre field, breaks out of the tackle again. Quick play the ball, Cooper. On to Chris Joint. Diagonal run, Joint's on his way. Can he run the full length? Oh, Alan Hunt was on his outside, but Joint didn't see him. Saints putting it together now. Cooper, crossfield. On to George Mann, inside to Rapati. 15 yards short, the Saints now, and looking to get in the lead for the first time in this game. Bernard Dwyer to Kevin Ward. Looking for support, Ward, but the ball's gone down. Cooper was loose when the ball's not played. It's a penalty to the Saints. He never played it, it's Smales, and that's the correct decision. Saints play it quickly after the penalty. Connolly, can he squeeze in for his second? Well, there's over the top tackling, there's the flopper tackling by Tudor. Saints moving crossfield, a big gap there, overlap for the Saints if they can move it. Good ball to Lyon. Lyon will go in, will he? Yes, Lyon's in for his second, and he puts the Saints back on level terms. Woo! Well, Featherstone paid the price for the indiscretion there. Kevin Ward driving the ball to the line. He tried to squeeze it out to Shane Cooper. The ball went to Ian Smales. He was held, but he got up and just run off with the ball. He didn't play it. Saints were awarded the penalty, and they moved it quickly over to the left, and David Lyon again repaying a lot of that £90,000 fee. Paying a lot of that £90,000 fee, going over for his second try of the afternoon, his 7th try of the season. And Paul Loughlin looking to put the Saints in the lead, as I said, for the first time. Loughlin, does he strike it well? It's all the way, is it? Oh, it's a superb goal by Loughlin, and the Saints are in the lead. They've shown tremendous skill and class and they've hit back in good style, and they're now in the lead by 18 points to 16 after trailing 10 points to 0 after 37 minutes before the Saints got the first points on the board. So Featherstone holding the Saints out, as I said, 10 points to 0. But Featherstone kick it off, and the Saints will build up again, won't they? Les Quirk drives it up. Newlove completes the tackle. 18-16, and they certainly, this is what we call a cup tie, isn't it? 20 minutes of the second half gone, 20 minutes to go. Saints just edging into a 2 points to 0 lead. Cooper has worked tirelessly this afternoon. And now it's Sonny Nicol. He drives it up to the halfway line. Price goes in with the elbow on Nicol. But it's back to David Lyon. Goes for the touch finder. Will it bounce kindly? It doesn't. Bibb has to field it. They have to give Bibb 10 metres. They do. And Connolly and Dwyer wrap him up. So I think the Saints will come through now, especially after coming back from that deficit. But it's Owen Simpson, the ex-Keighley flyer. Well, Simpson and Manning coming from the Keighley club. Now it's Leo Casey. If Featherstone are to well, it's knocked forward. The ball was knocked forward. The referee had to look to the touch judge for guidance. It was tried to be squeezed out there. Wilson picked it up, but he knocked it forward. And now Casey is coming off, and Burton coming back on. Burton back in the action. Saints win the scrum. Gary Connolly gives the dummy. Has to take the tackle. Well, there's the flop of the tackle there, but it's gone unpenalised by the referee this time. Paul Loughlin. Alan Hunt on his outside, just couldn't release it. Good clamp tackle on the far side. The Saints move it cross field. Harrison into a big hole, driving it up into the 20-metre area, and the Saints certainly putting it together in this second half. Dwyer from acting half onto Chris Joint. Moves it back in field. Dwyer tidies it up. The ball's come back, and it is a Featherstone player in the process. I don't know whether the tackle count will be waved off again. Rapati has the ball. Now with George Mann. Down to Connolly. Connolly, is he going to chip it? He flicks it back inside. George Mann has it. Yes, good ball to Hunt. Oh, he's hauled down just short. Last tackle of this sequence. Saints will go for the try. Featherstone lined up on their own line. Good ball. Back to David Lyon. Bernard Dwyer. Yes, Dwyer's going. Oh, yes. A superb try by Bernard Dwyer. On the last tackle again. And that's another nail in the Featherstone coffin. Bernard Dwyer squeezes in on the sixth tackle. After all looked dead and buried, it was the sixth tackle. It was moved across the face of the post. Bernard Dwyer got the ball. He did a pirouette. He broke out of the tackle. He drove behind the sticks. And it extends the Saints' lead to 22 points to 16 with Bernard Dwyer's third try of the season. And what a comeback, eh? What a comeback by the Saints. Loughlin shouldn't have any problem with this. And with this goal from Loughlin, that'll put an 8-point gap. Just couldn't get my maths together then. 22-16 at present. And Loughlin looking for this one. Yes, right between the uprights. Loughlin's fourth goal of the afternoon. 3 conversions and 1 penalty. Saints with 4 tries. Connolly, Lyon 2, and that one from Bernard Dwyer there, and none more important than that. And what a comeback this is. No danger. 24 points to 16 the score, and with 15 minutes before the end of the game. A mammoth crowd here at Post Office Road, and that shows the reserve of the Saints, if that's the correct term. Now the resolve, perhaps I should be, is the word I've been looking for. Where everything looked really dead and buried, we could say. 10 points to 4 at half-time, and up against it, and then Featherstone extending the lead to 16 points to 4, but then the Saints hitting back with 20 points without reply. And the ball still being allowed to be moved. It's Rapati looking for headway. A lot of disagreement from the Featherstone staff just on my right. As Dwyer brings it through, he chips and chases. Alan Hunt's there as well, but he's just hanging back. I think it was Chris Joint, first man up. But Featherstone have possession now, on a break by Chris Bibb. David Lyon to beat, but Lyon completes the tackle. And Featherstone now hitting back, putting a bit of form together. Been very lax in this second half. Now with Owen Simpson. Comes inside, but Connolly comes in again and wrestles into the floor. Good break by Simpson. Well, Featherstone man gone without the ball. He tidies it up. Quirk completes the tackle. Wilson at dummy half. Featherstone now a rare excursion in the Saints 20-metre area, apart from in the first 5 minutes when Newlove scored. It's now with Smales. Looking for the gap, Smales. Well, a hint of obstruction there. The ball chipped forward. Well, a knock on given, but scrum down now, right in front of the post, about 15 metres from the Saints line. Featherstone player injured, receiving treatment, and maybe Casey will have to come back on. It's Smales, the injured player, I think. No, Smales, he's all right now. Saints will have head and ball. Cooper gets possession, brings it blindside. It's now with Connolly. Connolly was just looking to release the pass to Shane Cooper, but he was tidied up. He's took a knock there as Gary Connolly. Sonny Nicol comes through. They've showed excellent resolve of the Saints this afternoon. They've run tirelessly. Not everything's come off for him. As Loughlin gets the ball away to George Mann, who was held there as he, before he actually received the ball, he did well to break out of the tackle. Alan Hunt from acting half, only the full-back to beat Hunt. But a good tackle there by Chris Bibb. He moved in quickly. Alan Hunt has to get up and play the ball. Harrison's at dummy half. Saints moving it across the line now. Rapati gives the dummy, drives, tries to pass around the man. The last tackle of this set. Will the Saints go for the one-pointer? David Lyon well positioned, but it's gone to Cooper. Cooper chips it crossfield. Simpson has to take it. Comes inside Les Quirk. But it's that man again, Connolly's homed in on Simpson. Brings him down. Good tackling there as Newlove comes blindside. Wilson at dummy half. Onto Ikram Butt. Taken by the scruff of the neck. Well, just going to release it. Bernard Dwyer thought he had it. But it's Featherstone in possession. Price has it. He's well taken by Ward and Harrison. Wilson attacked in half-back for Featherstone. Daunt looking for that gap. Burton coming through. Last tackle of this sequence. 12 minutes before the final hooter. Saints have an 8-point cushion. Smales puts a tester up. Oh, Lyon takes it comfortably. Daunt was there, and Smales, who'd kicked the ball, but Lyon took it well. George Mann breaks out of the tackle. Breaks out of two. He's still stood. He can't get the man to the ground. He's had an excellent game as George Mann, as of all the team. The whole team has played very well and come back, stirring down the face of defeat, stirring down the barrel of the gun there, trailing by 16 points to 4, and now leading by 24 points to 16. and looking good to going in the draw for tomorrow's second round. Last tackle of this set, David Lyon has plenty of time, pumps it down. Bibb has to turn, gathers it safely. Connolly completes the tackle. Owen Simpson from acting half. Cooper comes in, homes in on his man, brings him to a halt. Ikram Butt again, he's competed very well this afternoon. Both these wingmen have been very lively, and I think Butt has just got the edge. He's been all over the ground this afternoon. Takita gives the dummy, the Saints tackling. They'll have to hold off these Featherstone players that's running through. They'll have to make sure the tackle is completed. Tutor gives the dummy, looks for the half gap, but Cooper there, well, he gets an elbow in his face just for his pains off Tutor. Not picked up by the three officials. Daunt back to Bibb. Good break by Bibb, support there from Price. The ball will have to be held. It's released to Manning, Terry Manning. It's back inside, Ikram Butt. Can he squeeze in? No, he's well taken. Good work by Featherstone, but held down on the last tackle. The Smales tried to chip it through. Well, a lot of action in the far corner. I don't know what's happening, just out of our clear eyesight. But it should be the turnover, is it? No, Saints have been penalised. Saints have been penalised. Ian Smales, he's going to kick for goal, I think. No, he's not. He's just going to give himself a little bit of room. There he is, just kicks it back, giving Featherstone a little bit of room. Well, they've got another 6 tackles, and they're only 10 metres from the Saints line, and 9 minutes of the game remaining, and trailing by 8 points. 24-16, the Saints in the lead. And what a comeback, eh? Substitution now being made. I think it's number 11 coming off. Price and Casey going back on. So Price coming off. Gary Price. But now it's Featherstone. They're trailing by 8 points. They're looking to claw their way back within 2 with a converted try as Burton presses on the Saints line. Featherstone spread it along the line. Tutor, long cut-out ball to Newlove. Out to Owen Simpson. Comes inside, he ducks inside, and Les Quirk, Gary Connolly are 2 of the tacklers, along with Tirapati. Smales drops it. So Featherstone trying to put a bit of pressure on the Saints, and they lose possession to scrum down with the Saints feed, with Smales losing that ball right in the Saints 20-metre area. Saints with a lot of ball possession in this second half. 5 scrums to 2, I make it in Saints' favour. But good yardage there. Bernard Dwyer, George Mann, he drives it up 10 metres short of the halfway line. And now big John Harrison, he drives it up, releases it to Dwyer. Saints spread it. Now with Sonny Nicol. The Featherstone tackling certainly lacks in this second half. Nicol has to take the tackle. Substitute for back Maloney that come in there. And now it's Chris Joint. Breaks out of the defence. Tutor brings him down. Tutor and Smales. Blindside now for the Saints. It's George Mann. Last tackle of this set. The ball will go up in the air. Cooper rubbers it for touch now. Yes, just bounces in front of Ikram Butt on the right wing. 10 metres from the Featherstone line. It's a scrum down. 6 minutes remaining of the game. The Saints, I wouldn't say comfortably in the lead by 24 points to 16, but 8 points. It certainly gives the Saints a little bit of breathing space. Featherstone still running hard. But the tackling has lacked a little bit in this second half, I'm very pleased to say, as far as the Saints are concerned. A great comeback by the Saints, trailing 16 points to 4 after 45 minutes, and then hitting back with a 20-point barrage without reply. Tutor now for Featherstone, moving it crossfield. Tutor into space. He chips it crossfield, the ball's gone down. It comes back to Featherstone. The tackle count is waved clean, and it's Chris Bibb bringing it up. Referee Cummins there, wiping the slate clean. It's Featherstone with a last-ditch attempt. It's Terry Manning driving for the line. 10 metres short, Featherstone in possession. Tutor, the man that set that charge up. Long ball to Newlove. Oh, well taken down Newlove, but Simpson squeezes in at the corner. Simpson squeezes in at the corner, puts Featherstone back in with a shout. 24 points to 20 now. But this loose forward, Tutor, a very instrumental part in that try. Gave a great dummy and carved a big hole in the Saints' defence in the far right-hand corner, or going to that corner, and then the ball was brought back over to the left, and Simpson squeezed in at the corner after a lovely pass by Newlove. Jonathan Griffiths looking to be introduced for the last 4 minutes or so. Shane Cooper going to be brought off, and Ian Smales looking to bring Featherstone back within 2 points. Smales now, as you can see, only 2 or 3 yards in, and about 30 metres out, and it looks a good one. Oh, that's a superb kick! A superb kick by Smales! And now Featherstone will have their tails up, won't they? 22 points to Featherstone, 24 points to the Saints. And Saints make the substitution. David Lyon getting the silk cut Man of the Match award, the £150 award, plus a commemorative medallion. 2 tries from David Lyon. Certainly competed this afternoon, but Shane Cooper, the man that's just gone off, replaced by John Griffiths, he's certainly had an excellent game in my opinion. 3 minutes before the final hooter. Featherstone coming back in it now at 24 points to 22 they trail. The tackling has got to be firm. Jonathan Griffiths in there, but Burton gets it away. Newlove has it. Good gang tackling by the Saints. Connolly, Quirk and Tirapati. And Saints know now that they can't afford to make any mistakes, especially with Featherstone just hitting back there. The last tackle of this sequence. Featherstone in possession. It's with Daunt. Tries for a touch finder. David Lyon, he'll cover it. He does so. Newlove brings off the tackle. Daunt had run up, therefore putting everybody onside. Griffiths onto Les Quirk. Quirk pushed the first tackler off, but he couldn't get past Burton. Then Takita. Now it's Rapati. Saints move it over, give themselves a bit of room. George Mann, he's run tirelessly. 39 minutes on my watch now as Bernard Dwyer scampers through. Good yardage from Dwyer. John Griffiths attacked in half-back. And now Griffiths scampering away, he's going crossfield. He breaks through, does Griffiths? Oh, just taken down there. Smales pulls off an excellent tackle. The last tackle of this sequence. Rapati kicks it crossfield. Simpson will have to take it. Quirk takes him, and Connolly And time running out for Featherstone. They've got to try and move it and run it. Don't know how much stoppage time we've had. Ikram. Featherstone have certainly competed to give the Saints a shock. They're just trailing by 2 points, and here's Tutor onto Newlove. He's taken down. Tutor attacked in half-back. Well, he's knocked it forward. Well, he's penalised the Saints, and no way that was a penalty. No way that was a penalty. Newlove had played it. Tutor had picked the ball up, and he made a complete hash of it. And referee Cummins there was codded. 40 minutes on the watch. We're actually playing in stoppage time. Leo Casey drives it up. Ward completes the tackle. Featherstone, a last-ditch attempt. A drop goal's no good to him. Saints have got to make sure they stop onside. It's Daunt onto Smales. He's taken down. Saints urged to get back onside. It's now with Daunt. Looking to go between the sticks. Saints defence has got to be firm. Maloney, good ball to Newlove. He's got to be forced into touch. Maloney there, tried to squeeze it to, well, he scores it to Newlove. Newlove tried to squeeze in at the corner. Long ball now. Bibb chips it through. Now Alan Hunt in his in-goal area. He's just taken the ball in the field of play, has he? Featherstone penalised for pushing him back over the line, and that'll be Featherstone's last chance. They've no chance now. Saints will find, well, they're not going to say they'll find touch, but Hunt takes it quickly. 6 tackles for the Saints now, and they'll play them as slowly as they can, I'm quite sure. 1.5 minutes of stoppage time. George Mann to John Griffiths. Taken down on the 20-metre line. Blindside ploy again. Good running by the Saints. Clear their own line. The touch judge is on. Well, I think that's the first time the touch judge has been on there during the game. There should be a penalty to the Saints, I would imagine. Well, it's a penalty against the Saints for allegedly going in with the elbow. And will Featherstone have a go for goal? Will Smales? Well, they must know that there's time's running out. 2 minutes of stoppage time have been played. But Smales is going for touch. Featherstone looking for the winner as opposed to the replay. And the Saints looking for that full-time hooter. There's the full-time hooter, and the Saints are in the draw for the second round, coming through with a tremendous 24 points to 22 win here at Post Office Road, Featherstone. Trailing 10 points to 4 at the interval, and Saints coming back with a barrage in the second half. The Saints faithful at the bottom end there, they applaud their favourites. But what a cup tie it's been here at Featherstone. We knew we was in for a tough game as we was drawn out against Featherstone in the first round. But leaders of the first division against leaders of the second division, and the Saints, as I said, they know they've been in a game, and they go round to support the travelling public, and only rightly so. They've got behind the Saints, they've encouraged them all along the line. But it's the lads on the field that's done the job, and they're in the bag for the second round tomorrow evening. As I said, 10 points to 4 at half-time, and then Featherstone hit back within 5 minutes. A Newlove try, a Smales goal, and Saints are rocking at 16 points to 4. Then a Lyon try converted by Loughlin brought the Saints back within 6 points, and then a Loughlin penalty goal followed quickly by another David Lyon try converted by Loughlin, and Saints were in the lead for the first time by 18 points to 16. Bernard Dwyer going in at short range on the 6th tackle. That was converted by Loughlin right in front of the sticks, and Saints have an 8-point cushion at 24 points to 16. And then Simpson squeezing in at the corner. Paul Loughlin there just applauding the crowd, but Simpson squeezing into the corner with 5 minutes to go. That was converted by Smales, and it was all on as they set for a grandstand finish. 24 points to 20. Featherstone pressing at the end, they couldn't get in, and the Saints weathered the storm and come away with the victory here at Post Office Road, Featherstone. As I said, they're in the bag for the second round of the Cup tomorrow, and they win here by 24 points to 22. Thanks for joining us. We're at home at Nosey Road this Friday, a televised game against Warrington, but this has certainly been a cup tie, and we look forward to hopefully a home tie in the second round.